and then you.
1, 2, 3.
Good. Okay, so just gotta unwind a little bit. It's even like walking into it's like we're gonna start slowly being comfortable because we have these conversations prior to this, and then we'll start a full blown conversation, and then we realize like we should have just recorded that.
Right. Like we were
And
just
then
having a conversation.
yeah, and then we sit here and then we're like, oh, okay. Yeah. So we went to go see the Joker the other day, and we went to the Bolingbrook Regal. It's one of my favorite ones to go to around here. And I have to say that was a pretty damn good movie.
It was amazing.
It was like jaw-dropping good. Like not jaw-dropping like I seen something that I was like, oh my God, but it was still something.
Just had you reeled in. Like it just had you like stiff-armed.
Yeah, so you were talking about how it almost made you feel like you were going crazy.
Yeah.
Like you were...
Arthur.
Yeah, you were going through his stuff.
Yeah.
So the reviews have been getting like really like heated. A lot of people are talking about like how it's kind of allowing the conversation for people to be influenced to do the same things, like mass shootings and stuff. And obviously that's a very touchy subject. And I can see how some would kind of generate that argument.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of like nitpicking on certain things. Like that movie's making you feel this way, and let's target that movie for that reason. And then you have other movies that are based on true stories that are way more graphic and violent.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's war movies. There's, like murder movies, like literally based on that. And I mean, no one's saying anything about this is going to, glorify people to go start murdering people or
right, because I don't know, it's not comparable to a like mass shooting. I don't know, like just watching it doesn't make you feel like, oh, I want to go commit a murder or commit a crime. Like it's just a really good story told.
And there's people saying that they're walking out of the theater too. I've seen a lot of like snapshots or screenshots of like tweets or whatever it may be, or even in like I guess in interviews, people are saying, "Oh, well, I had to walk out because it was that bad." And then so when I was like, I really want to go see this movie. I remember us watching like the trailer, just kind of through time, and we made it a point like, yeah, we're gonna go see this movie. So it came out, we go see it, and going into it, I thought, man, this is gonna be like gruesome, like graphic, like just bad. Yeah. But this was minimal compared to like a Saw or like a Texas Chainsaw or a Kill Bill or something like that. And those movies, obviously Kill Bill has had some slack, kind of backlash for his graphic.
It was just like mentally gruesome. I don't know if you have to put a label on it. It was just very like mental than scary or terrorizing. It was just like a lot of mental battles.
I mean, aside from it being a comic or comic driven, if you take that element out of it, if you take Batman out of it, which going into that, I mean, we should probably talk on that too, because that was kind of cool.
That was so cool.
Spoiler alerts, just spoiler alerts are going to be here. I'll tell you if for any reason we don't, but just there's going to be spoiler alerts because obviously by this time, go watch the movie. But obviously it is a comic movie. It's based on a comic, even though Todd Phillips said that it's not. He's not going to have it kind of fall in line with the comics so much. It's still, I thought when he said that, it wasn't going to have no Batman in it, no Wayne family, nothing. And the
Waynes are like kind of a big part of the movie. Yeah.
I mean, actually a huge part of it, to be honest. Just kind of the way the narrative is kind of navigated through the whole movie. It's a longer movie, but doesn't feel it. Oh. I think it didn't really drag. I think it kept you intrigued the whole time.
Very like suspenseful, like throughout the whole, because you just don't. There's times where it just gets really unpredictable.
Yeah, I think the reason why I feel is a good movie too is because all of the scenes, all of the dialogue was well placed, and it was needed. Like there wasn't extra fat, I guess. Like
No.
he didn't have to really trim much off. If anything, it kind of left you where you wanted more in between those scenes.
Yeah.
You know, even like the small little things where he says like, you know, the one friend that's you know, the smaller. I wouldn't necessarily know the proper terminology for him, but like a smaller person. You know, he's afraid in the corner. And he says, like,
I'm not going to kill you.
I'm not going to kill you. You weren't mean to me. Or you were good to me.
Yeah.
He even, the door scene, like, he even goes to that extent. And you could see, like, that's where I think people kind of have a little bit of
empathy.
Yeah, but they make that argument. Because it's like, oh, he has nice... Like, it makes it seem like he does all these... But he just murdered someone... And then he does some you know, beautiful act of kindness of like, I'm gonna, you know, like whatever.
Yeah.
There's those little hints that I guess people can kind of like drag and exaggerate in a drag. And everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I just didn't see it. I didn't see how there could be an argument of that. I think it was just well directed, and that's coming from someone who does a lot of comedies. Todd Phillips does a lot of comedies. I forgot specifically, he's done like the Hangover movies.
Yes.
Like, so it's like you know, it's a completely different I guess realm for him. I mean, directing is one thing, but I mean, if you're so used to doing comedies, you know, some people may be a little bit hesitant to think that you're going to be doing these things. That's with actors too.
Yeah.
You know, if you got a comedian that's going to be doing something comedies all the time, to do a serious role is going to be rough for people to think that it's going to be executed well. Yeah. I think it was a great movie. I think it was a phenomenal movie. I left where like I have people like, oh yeah, I gotta go see it, and I tell them like, I'll go with you. Yeah. And I just watched it.
It's a movie that keeps playing after it's done. Like it keeps you thinking. It keeps you wanting to have discussions on, well, how do you think this will play out, or what do you think will happen next? Like it's one of those movies that you just keep thinking about it, and it's not like it's very cool that it just doesn't give you all the answers. Yeah,
it's immediate too, that you're like, I want a sequel. Like, yeah. I already want to see.
I would love to see Bruce grow up, and maybe we don't see Joker in this like 1980s, 1990s Batman era until like a third movie he comes back. But it would be cool to see another 80s, 90s Batman movie done in that era, just because it's not like too technically advanced. Batman could still get away with a lot of stuff because of that. You know what I mean? Like
it would have to be, I mean, let's just say if they do a young Bruce. This is the whole thing too with DC Comics. Nobody really knows what's going to happen in the midst of all this. Like Marvel executed it so well that it's kind of like, oh, we're going to do a next stage, and DC is still trying to get their feet planted.
These runoffs with like Justice League, with Suicide Squad, and now they're doing this whole new Batman world. It's like, what?
So I mean,
it's not cohesive like how Marvel is.
Robert Pattinson's going to do Batman. He's going to do a new Batman. I will give him the benefit of the doubt. A lot of people are like, how the hell is that Twilight guy going to be the Batman? I will say,
I didn't even know that. That's news to me right now.
The guy from Twilight? Yeah, he's gonna be Batman.
Oh.
Now, hold on, because there's been several Batmans. Okay, Michael Keaton had the same thing. Have you ever seen the one with Michael Keaton?
Yes.
Okay, and that's a really good one. That's the Tim Burton one.
Yes.
People love that one.
It's a good one.
They said it was never like how is Michael Keaton, Mr. Mom, gonna be the guy that Mr. Mom's in other movies before your time, Seb?
I haven't seen that one. No.
Yeah, so how is he going to be Batman? And then lo and behold, he was like a phenomenal Batman. It was like a very like memorable performance. He did really well. You know, it did really. Obviously, it was Tim Burton's direction.
Maybe just the Twilight guy is too pale to me. Hopefully, he's not this pale.
That's a tan, bro. You could just get a tan. Like we could just see like, but also
I just see him so pasty, like just.
But also, I mean, if you think about it, he's literally a bat. I mean, he has to be in a cave. Like, and there's no like. There's a lot of sunlight.
I'm so stuck on that. I think a lot of people are stuck in that Christian Bale Batman when they saw like him. Like, it's hard to imagine another Batman. Ben Affleck, I think in my opinion, did a good job. Just the directors and the whole storyline of his movies weren't good, but as an overall character or actor of Batman, I think for those scenes he did really well.
I didn't care for Ben Affleck, so I just think like I just. I think Robert Pattinson could do a better job, just because, one, he's already played like this very like mysterious dark role, and if he goes to the extent of like he's playing that kid that has, like, let's just say they tie it in. They find a way to convince them to tie it in, which I don't think they're going to. I think that the story is that they're not going to tie that Joker with that Batman, which kind of sucks. But if they do,
but I don't know. They said that about Venom, and now they're making a sequel.
So if they do tie it in, I think he will do well with playing a very like timid at first, dark, pale, I guess, Batman that's kind of finding his own. Like, you know, we have this image of Batman being like,
he would have to get ripped because he's a pretty skinny guy.
Maybe, but in the beginning stages, he could play a young, like mid-20s Batman that's just kind of like finding like
Arthur,
learning how to the martial arts, learning all these things, and then eventually become big. Yeah. But he can also play a dark.
See, we got to see a whole new stage of that again with Batman going to see Liam Neeson's character and all that. Like,
yeah, but I think
those are very iconic scenes in the moment. Yeah, to like recreate that and try to do it again.
I think he could do well. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say that if the script is really well. Is really well written, then it could be good. Because the Joker,
I think I was even talking to you about this too after we saw it, but I would like to see the Batman story where Bane breaks his back and you see Batman be a mentor to Robin, who becomes the new Batman.
Yeah, and you could. Who's to say that that's not what they're going to do with Robert Pattinson? Like, he's the younger, the newer version of it or whatever it may be, and maybe they find some way to drag it off of another one. I hope they reboot it. Like the Suicide Squad, I'm not really like looking forward to Harley Quinn's, just because I get that's probably like her character, you know, like the storyline. But it's almost like the Suicide Squad, the way that was directed and written, I didn't care for it.
No. So I would like to see, I think it's really cool with like the Venom movie, with the Joker movie. I would like to see a more origin stories of villains versus more villains movies than the superhero movies.
Well, Jonah Hill's playing the Penguin, supposedly.
Yeah.
And the people are going to be like, what? Yeah. But then again, you never know. Like,
but I think they could be good because they're all just so good, like comic book characters or just characters in general that, like, it's now you actually have a better understanding when you see, if you ever see Joaquin Phoenix again later in the movies, but you'll just know his origin story more. You'll know his background. Like when we saw Heath Ledger, that was the full-blown Joker. That was like Joker in his prime already. We don't have any background story, nothing. We just see the manifestation already.
So obviously there's no way of me like saying like, hope this goes viral so they see it and they do it. It's not going to. But what I would hope is that they almost don't do the over-the-top explosions and, you know, all this crazy stuff like Marvel. I get that's
DC
fun.
Has realism. Like, DC I feel like that's their niche.
Yeah, so let's just say for some reason all those three names. Yeah. You have big names like Phoenix, Pattinson, and Hill, and if they go together and they're just doing very like a well-scripted kind of realistic storyline where it's dark, it can work. Yeah. Because the whole thing with like Batman versus Superman, that's not realistic.
Yeah,
like he would just destroy him. I don't care how much money you have for a suit. Like in real life, he would most likely destroy this person. Like, get him out of the way. Don't do the Batman versus Superman, and just have this realm where
the only thing that saves him is Martha.
Yeah, Mom.
Why did you say that name? Why are we fighting now?
He's just like retracting his fist. Yeah, I just think like if they just have very good storylines where it's almost like just serial killers. That's all it is. Like, you know, murderers and Batman's trying to, you know, like he's not going to take over the top beatings and it's going to be like, how is this man's body still alive? Like it's realistic. Right. I mean, obviously they're comics, but make it so that it's almost a drama rather than a flamboyant over the top special effects feature.
Yeah.
And I just think the movie was good. I think they can actually just drive that train and just put everything else. Like, I almost think, like, after that movie's just success...
Let Todd Phillips direct every movie.
Yeah, but when I was walking out, I was like, give that man every movie. I think after that, I think they could honestly they're probably in, going back and starting to be like, maybe we should think about how we move this around.
Yeah.
Like, let's be Suicide Squad by themselves and not involved with us.
Yeah.
Or let's have them involved, but let's rewrite this a little bit. Or let's do, because I think they could. They're going to redo Suicide Squad. Maybe they're going to do better.
I feel like that might just be like sprinkles of movie for the buildup of the bigger movie. You know what I mean? Just to keep the fans happy. Okay, yeah. But our real focus are going to be these serious movies.
Yeah, it's something where, like, when we went in there was like older adults.
Yeah,
like
it was
older.
1 in the afternoon on like a Saturday.
Yeah, that were like legitimately going to see this movie because it was a drama.
Yeah,
they probably didn't even care that it was a comic related movie.
Yeah,
and then you get these blockbuster Marvel movies, which are good. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Like the Spider-Verse was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
The Spider-Man in general is good, even though they're kind of Disney and Sony mix up. That's causing, now they came to an agreement again, but. So they're gonna start doing that, but Sony wanted to have that Spider-Man with Venom, and the Venom I didn't watch it. I gotta watch it first, but I didn't hear the best about it.
It was okay. It was good.
But I mean, that's the whole thing.
It was entertaining, definitely. I would say.
Okay, so I mean, it's kind of like that when other people own different names, like Wolverine is with this, then you start having problems because you can't mix it all together.
Right. And it takes away the focus of like the whole experience for the fans now, because you have all these. It's just a money thing now. It's like, we're gonna control it and do this. When it's like, are you actually trying to make a good content quality piece?
Yeah.
At this point, or are you just doing it because you're contracted in?
That's what I'm saying. So Michael Keaton, Batman, they gave him a lot of slack. Even when Nicolas Cage was supposed to play Superman. And did you know that?
No, that's funny.
Watch that. There's actually a documentary on it because people were I was actually intrigued by it because of the fact that the director
he's gonna try to steal the Declaration of Independence and shit. That's Superman.
No. Just
that was the peak of that man's career. Was National Treasure.
Raising Arizona was good, man. What is it? Tim Burton was directing it. That's Superman. Okay. They have him in the suit too.
Oh, Nicolas Cage in a suit?
They were along the lines. They were along the lines, and what happened was there's a documentary on it. It's actually pretty fascinating because you think like, oh, Nicolas Cage is gonna be a horrible Superman, and
I don't think he was the best Ghost Rider in my opinion.
I mean, we go through so many comics. It's like people are so bad to Tobey Maguire, man.
Yeah, but look at
shit on him now, and like at that time that was the Spider-Man, bro. Like they just go through so many different names.
But look at Deadpool and I can't even think of his name right now. The actor that plays Deadpool.
Ryan
Reynolds, when he did Green Lantern was trash, but he made a huge comeback with Deadpool.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is so funny, man.
Yeah.
God, he's funny. I remember him in National Lampoon, whatever that is. I forgot the movie, but he's funny. He has that. He was a perfect Deadpool.
Yeah,
that was like his character.
Yes.
Well, who was it? Seth Rogen played Green Lantern, and I heard that was garbage.
Green Hornet.
Green Hornet. Sorry,
I haven't seen that, so I can't.
I heard that was garbage.
I'd probably still watch it though, just because.
just the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think they did really well with the Joker. I think they can definitely kind of move on with that. I honestly don't know what's going to happen with Marvel.
Joaquin Phoenix deserves an award for that.
And people are saying he doesn't deserve it because of that same reason. And it just becomes this thing where you're like,
he acted his ass off.
He legitimately acted so well in that movie that you didn't think it was acting.
I watched a couple interviews too afterwards. Like he had like a really good one. I forgot, it was with Popcorn is the channel, and he was talking how people think that he had to go into like what's the term when like you fall into the character, you start believing that you are the character.
It's not method acting.
A little bit like method acting, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean he like almost like method acting is where you like, if you got to be a homeless person, you just start spending time with homeless people like all day around.
In that interview, they had asked him that question. He's like, honestly, no, I didn't have to do none of that. I just acted what needed to be done. he was just very straightforward on the job and wasn't like trying to be too much about it. Or
his story is so wild too. His brother dying, I think by suicide, River Phoenix.
I know that.
Yeah, his brother's in Stand By. You know the movie Stand By Me, or I think it's Stand By Me. People are like, there's people that sometimes watch. They're like, they don't know nothing. It's like everything's wrong.
This is why the podcast is here, so we learn.
We learn. And I just watch so much movies. So yeah, River Phoenix was his brother. He was in Stand By Me, which is a really great movie. It's a Stephen King movie.
Okay. The author?
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, it was his book, and then they turned it into a movie. It's a good movie. It's like an old classic movie.
Okay.
And I believe he committed suicide, and so obviously just that background, and you just kind of see like his dark past and how he was able. I mean, the Johnny Cash movie.
That was a great movie.
You know, like
that's his brother, the one that played Johnny Cash.
No, that's
that's Joaquin Phoenix. Right?
That's him, bro.
But
his brother died.
Do they look similar?
Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, I could always show you a picture later on, but I mean, I mean, they don't really look that similar, but yeah. So I just think he has that ability to kind of pull it from something.
Yeah.
It's almost like what we talk about, like where if you haven't gone through any sort of struggle, you can't talk about struggle.
Right.
I mean, you have to kind of experience it in order to kind of say it. And I think he is not insane.
Yeah.
But I mean, with movies like Her, you know, it's like they're very like.
He did a lot of research too in that interview. He was saying how there was he had found a video of someone that was like being just going through like a mental question. I don't even know the right terms. Interrogation, yeah. And they found someone that him and Todd Phillips liked, and they kept watching the video, and supposedly that's what he was like imitating or influenced from while he was doing the acting, from like the way he would talk was all from that interrogation video that they watched, and they just stretched it out.
This is the thing too, is like we watch all these Jokers and we think that nothing can top Heath Ledger, and how can there be another laugh? How can like he laughs almost like it actually is a sickness. I mean, obviously that is a mental illness. That was
so
but he's
genius.
Laughing almost like it's hard for him to get it out.
Yeah.
And so you're watching this guy like, no, it's like legit. Obviously it could be like like an illusion to him. Like I don't know if that's a for real thing. Like the old movie The Man That Laughs. I think it's called The Man That Laughs. But the guy that cannot he always just smiles the whole time.
Yeah.
That's kind of where they got the influence from.
Yeah.
You see him do like a new version of it.
Yeah.
And you're like, how?
If you pay attention to the times that he does laugh throughout the movie, it seems like he laughs when he's uncomfortable in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then he starts laughing as if he's comfortable with the laugh now towards the end, when he starts getting a little more crazy.
When he puts the suits on, he puts the makeup on, and he walks out. That's when I remember telling you, like when he's sitting on the couch and he's talking, you can see that dialogue from the beginning. If you watch the beginning of him where he's sitting down, and then even towards the end, obviously where it ends, you see him, even with the flow of dancing, you see his way of talking. You're like, oh, okay, so now that he's become the Joker, this is the way he's going to talk.
Yeah.
Like the way he was very like introvert and like timid talking, like he wasn't really confident. Yeah. And this is like his confident Joker. So this is what we're going to see for the rest of the movie. Yeah. Come on. This is what we're going to see for, I mean, how terrifying they get what you get what you deserve or whatever like that. You know, how terrifying his face was when they put it close to it. Like, you know, like why is he egging him on? Like, why is this happening? Like, you know, like how scary it is. It was just very realistic. I mean, would that, you know, it definitely could happen.
Yeah.
So I think he did well enough where you could argue that he should, you know, be deserved at least in the discussion of like getting an award. We don't know obviously what other movies are going to come out. You know, like that Irishman movie is going to come out. That looks pretty good with Martin Scorsese directing that. So I mean, it was a really good movie, phenomenal movie. I thought it was great. I just excited to see if they want to do a sequel, if they're going to do a sequel, if that's just going to be like a one-off, and they say like, no, we don't want to tarnish it, just kind of leave that as it is, which I can accept.
Yeah.
I would love to see something else, but I can accept that that's just one thing. Like Todd Phillips just doesn't want to try to ruin it by doing a sequel. You should look up those videos of the Nicolas Cage and the Superman. It's weird.
Just the laugh.
The suit was kind of, it was like people thought it was going to be good. Kevin Smith was kind of behind it too as well. I think one of the producers that was behind it wanted to have like this massive spider or something like that be like the villain. And they were like, no. And then they eventually like, let's just stop doing all this. Like, let's just, no more.
Like Nicolas Cage wants to do some independent stuff.
He wants to like, I don't know, like save Washington or something. I don't know.
This is getting out of hand.
Just getting out of hand. Did you know there was like a secret code on the back of the Declaration? Yeah, so I thought that was a good movie. I would honestly go see it again. It was great. Even like the subtle things of like where he laughs.
Yeah.
Like when he's in the comedy show and he's laughing off and he's almost looking like, why are they not laughing when I'm laughing? Like, you know, like this is what I think is funny. And it's not even the punchline. Yeah, so I definitely would go see Joker.
Yeah. Go see it.
Go see it. Really quick, we want to take this time to do like a little short clip or a video and get people involved in our podcast, not in a way of viewership, but almost just a way of guests and music submissions. So if you are an artist in any fashion, if you want to, you know, have your stuff displayed in the background, we have some stuff in the background. We will love to fill up this space, even the area that we have for other kind of work areas that we use. Please send it to us, DM us at Radio Rejekts. Rejekts is with a K. And then also for guests. So our first season, we had a couple guests on. We had people that we were kind of involved with as far as like we knew them or we had them on shows. And we would love for them to, those guests to even come back or even new guests too as well. So if you, like Albrachi we're going to have on.
Yes.
So Lewis and them, we're going to have those on. And then, you know, obviously, is it round 2, right?
Yes.
That whole kind of group, we're going to have those on too as well. So there's going to be people that if you make clothes, if you create music, if you just want to come and talk and you have something that you're kind of starting as far as like an entrepreneur or, you know, your brand, whatever it may be, you design stuff, you do events like us, whatever. You have your own podcast. Yep. You know, we would love for you to be on and talk to us. We'll set up and you can come by and we'll have a discussion. And like I said, for music submissions too, if you make beats, productions, we would love to have it in the beginning of the episode and just kind of have it as like a transition in between segments.
Just get more people involved. That's all we want to do.
Yeah. Look in the camera, Seth.
Yes. Just get more people involved. Send us your stuff. We need it. Yeah.
So, please go ahead and you could either email us at Radio Rejekts. Remember, Rejekts is the only thing that's off. It's got a K in it.
Yeah.
So Radio Rejekts with a K at gmail.com or Instagram. That's usually where we have a lot of traffic. So it's through Instagram, just at Radio Rejekts, even Twitter at Radio Rejekts, or you can go through our Facebook, which is just Radio Rejekts too as well.
Yes.
And that's also where you can find, if you watch our podcast, you can also find a lot of the other events that we do, recaps, even just photos and all of our episodes on our IGTV and our YouTube.
Yes.
Which, once again, Radio Rejekts.
Yes. Podcasts and Spotify will be coming soon. And all those.
The podcast app, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to bring those soon. But
even that, too. So we want to do polls. Mm-hmm. We want to do polls on there, like ask us questions. There's questions that maybe even like the, you know, like movies or hot topics, culture-driven things that we can kind of have our views on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, send us those. We'll put them on our Instagram stories, like, you know, ask us questions. But even if it's something where you just have a thought and you want to kind of see what we think about it, you can send us a video. We can play the video, put it on there. We can answer the question, or you can just send us like a tweet or whatever, or DM us on Instagram, and we'll try to answer that and even tag you in it too as well.
Yeah.
So just topics, whatever it may be, we would love to kind of get people involved, so they feel like they're a part of our podcast just as much as we are.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Radio Rejekts with a K.
Yes.
And then it says Summer Walker.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about that. Summer Walker's album is amazing.
Yeah.
It's like,
I have not listened to it, so I'm just gonna like stay out of this and just talk about other things.
It's like when I first listened to Bryson Tiller's Trap Soul when that came out. I'm getting that same feeling from this album.
Is it good as Control?
It's different than Control. Control's more.
I really like the Control. I mean, I haven't listened to this. I don't really know what. I know people would probably be like, "Why the hell have you listened to this? It's easy," but there's just a lot of music out.
No, it's very different from Control. This one's, I don't know. It's just like, it's like sexy throughout the whole way. It's just a vibe, really.
All I've seen so far is that
production is amazing. London on the track,
on a lot of them,
on the like whole album.
Really,
just so different. These are like beats and like stuff that I just never heard from him, because he's always like coming out with like club bangers or like.
So it's not really
hits,
like
but
hard hitting, bass driven.
No, it is. It'll definitely ride in the car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it. I gotta listen to it. There's plenty of stuff I need to listen to. That's another thing too, is like a lot of the music that's coming out, with like the Baby's album. We talked about like that, and just how I wasn't really like taken back by it. I honestly think when the Baby came out,
I wasn't impressed, but I wasn't disappointed with it, if I should say, because
it was almost as expected.
Yeah, I mean, I respect the Baby as an artist, like to a full extent. The way he carries himself, the way he markets himself, he's killing it right now. I do think he could have came a little harder on the album, but it was just, I knew what I was walking into.
I think because like when I first heard the Baby, honestly, the way I got introduced to it is like the music on the IG stories. I posted like a picture or like a video of us or whatever like that, and then I just put that one, Suge. And I was like, oh, this is the first time I ever heard this. It was just like one of the like the top suggestions. And then I listened to that. I think we were driving somewhere, and then
very contagious when you first heard it.
Exactly. So then he had a couple other songs too as well, and I think like he's one-off songs. Like it doesn't actually almost like singles. He's good at like singles and features.
His features have been killing.
His features are like really good. So I think like the whole album there wasn't enough of those single type DaBaby tracks.
Yeah.
It was more of like him actually trying to put an album together, and that just goes with time. I mean, he may just be used to mixtapes.
Yeah, I really do love the intro to his album though. That I love that. I think even when I love when rappers get on very soulful beats that have like a soul sample to it.
Yeah,
like the Under the Sun with Cole and DaBaby on it, and like they just killed that whole track.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of like sampled beats like that.
Who do you think has the best intro
to an album?
Yeah.
Ooh, I mean, what time frame are you talking? That's very hard.
That's tough.
Oh man.
Who do you think would have the best, or who do you think has one of the best?
I don't know. There's a lot of good ones out there. Even like Tuscan Leather was a crazy intro.
Yeah, that still stands up.
Drake went hard for 7 minutes straight, bro. Just like.
Who's some good ones?
That was a good one.
Was Meek Mill's, was that an intro?
Yeah.
That's kind of like the most iconic one right now.
That's the most iconic one. Yeah. There's just so many. What's another good one?
Kendrick's one on Damn was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't like him rapping. It was just very like cinematically.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, and then you hear the gunshot. Like,
do you see the video with Lil Yachty the other day?
No.
He was listening to it like live, I guess, and when he shot, he's like, oh, somebody shot. Yeah, so I think that was probably a good one. Yeah. I haven't listened to Summer Walker one. I think I'll probably check it out during the week. It's kind of like one of those things where my commute drive's gotten shorter, so I don't listen to as much. And you drive.
I drive too much.
You drive to college, and then also to the city. Yeah. So you're driving like at least an hour each way, regardless of where it's at.
Yeah.
And obviously that's
just what I put on podcasts, and that's my time to listen to whatever it's new out.
Yeah. Okay, so we wrapped up our Mac Miller second annual Mac Miller tribute.
Yes.
That was yesterday, if we're being like present, but it was October 12th, 2019. It was at a location called ATE, which I think the location was crazy. Like everybody that kind of went in there, I was kind of doing like the door. So if you've seen me at the door, if you're like a new follower or a new listener watcher, I was at the door. I was greeting people, kind of like saying if you want to follow the page, where the merch area was. I think that location, everybody was telling us like, wow, like this place is like crazy.
Yeah.
Like the sound system was ridiculous. And you've been to a lot of venues.
Yeah.
I don't even think they had it like full potential.
No, that sound system was only at like 40%.
Yeah, and it was still. I remember that time where like, what song were you playing where the bass hit, and me and you both looked at each other. It's like there was a song where like it was a bass, like it was the first.
It was last night.
Yeah, the bass hit, and you were on stage, and I was on the stairs, and like it hit, and I just seen you did one of those like, woo, and I just looked at you, and I was like,
it was loud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was moving around, but then I was like trying to take a video, and then it just hit. It was like it was also in the beginning of your set, I think, too, and it like knocked so hard.
So it was
and
even feel it in your chest.
Yeah, even you were like, and you felt it. Woo! and I was just like, I looked at you two from the stairs, and I was like, yeah. And so the system is crazy. Even the light setups were pretty ridiculous too, as well. The merch area too. Albrachi had and St. Toby had this area that we kind of closed off in a room. This is the second time with Albrachi, and they've told us they had phenomenal success. They had a lot of success. So.
They came with quality too, like the shirts
are
we
dope.
Put together, we made. Like it's not rinky dinky put together. Like they put effort into that.
Yeah. So the shirts came out really good. They had these tie-dye ones that they said, I think they had like
only 2-3 left.
2-3 left, and they had like 8 or 10. I think like 12 in one size. Blah blah blah. Obviously the more normal sizes, but they even said like sizes that they don't run out of, like they don't usually buy a lot of, like extra large. They had like 2 or 3. He's like, yeah, we just had enough. We usually always have like an extra 2 or 3 left of them, and like we sold out of all the big sizes, the small sizes, and they only had a few left.
Yeah.
They were even selling stuff from their actual line. So it wasn't just like the Mac stuff. The Mac stuff was selling a lot, but they still always bring their lineup too as well.
They had a dope one that said, my angels help me kill my demons or something like that on that. That one was a fire shirt.
Is that the green one?
The green one, yeah.
Yeah, they sold like I actually want to get one of those.
Yeah.
They said they sold like a few of those too as well. So, I mean, they had great interaction with the guests. I mean, people came in. You were saying, like, people were like, where's the merch area?
Yeah.
Oh, so, and they even said when everyone that was walking in was asking, where's the Mac merch? Where's the Mac merch? So, I think that's something that we kind of want to continue on with any tribute that we have, especially with the Good Kids See Ghosts, is like, always make a design thing that people can take with them.
Just hold on.
Yeah, just hold on so they can have it. Like the thing that we did originally was the wristbands for the Mac event. Yeah. And then this time it was the shirt. So big shout out to Albrachi and St. Toby for coming through and setting up. St. Toby, they had great success too with the hoodies. You were actually rocking the hoodie too as well on stage.
Yeah, the hoodie's clean.
So that was dope. That room that they had, they kind of set up. They had like a TV that had like the Mac performances played and everything like that too as well. So the night was it was an experience. It was definitely an experience. Like we had way more elements into it. Emporium, obviously, when we first did the first run at it, had like the arcade games and everything like that. This one we only had, because it is a billiard, so they had pool tables. This one we only had the 3 set up. So everybody that came in, we raffled off like some CDs and stuff too as well. So we'll have a recap soon, depending on obviously when if this comes out sooner than that.
Yeah.
But I think it was good. It was a learning experience for some things too as well, that we have to just kind of like push through. It's also like one of the very few times that we're kind of continuing to go into the city and going to events in the city. Yeah. So we're learning those things.
It's just new territory.
It's just new territory. It was, but that was the thing too as well, is that it was the venue's in Chinatown, so it's off the grid for most people that are going to like heavy busy streets where the place that you're going right here, that's where you're gonna go. But then you also have like four other options in that area. So Emporium, that was the thing, that we had people that were just walking up because they seen this long line, but they were just coming from different bars in that area. The weather was really nice that time too as well. The weather was kind of cold last night, so we're slowly getting into winter. Yeah, which sucks. Yeah, but I hate Chicago weather. Yeah, so this is when people don't want to go outside. Yeah, and they start making podcasts.
We're gonna start doing events in your living room, like
yeah, just turn us on.
Tune into the event.
Sab's gonna DJ, and I'm just gonna be the person just dancing to this stuff.
Yeah,
yeah. So to wrap that up, it was a really good event. People that came, they were really excited about it. Like I said, there's always learning experiences for all of it. There's always things that we can take away from it and learn how to adjust and maneuver through it. Even like the owners and everything like that, interactions with different owners, the way they run their bars, everything like that is a learning experience for how we're gonna go to the next one and the next one and the next one. Yeah, so I think it was really good. Obviously next year we only have that once a year, and other tributes that we're gonna have too as well.
Yeah, maybe even maybe move it to the summer, something to think about too when the weather's nicer, and maybe even try it outdoor, switch it up. I think there's so much different things we could do in the city with it.
I don't know. I don't know offhand. When is his birthday?
Believe it's our early birthday. I think it's in like March.
Yeah, I think so. I remember it being like cold when people were saying happy birthday.
Yeah, it was definitely like around.
So we may just have to have it off of a time, or like if it's closer to best day ever, like the day that released, which obviously I don't know offhand right now, but we could have it at that time, somewhere where at least if it falls into something where it's warmer.
Yeah, travel with it. That's something we've been talking about too with the tribute events that we do, and not just only stay situated in Chicago, but I think the things that we do well, we can travel different cities with it, expose different people, and we've had people. Even for someone for the Mac event came from Pittsburgh.
That was wild.
Yeah.
Did you see that? I uploaded on the story, that guy that had the tattoo right here.
Dope tattoo.
Yeah, I seen him. So I was standing on the stairs and I seen this guy, just kind of like chilling there. You could tell obviously he was a Mac fan, like a day one Mac fan. Yeah. And I see him go like this, and then I see him like go and film you two as well. And I was like, this man's got a tattoo. So I walked up to him and I was like, hey, can I put that on my story?
Yeah.
I guess, can I put that on our story?
Yeah.
And he was like looking at me like weird, because I'm just asking to film his arm.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I'm with Radio Rejekts. Like this is our event. Can I put that on our story and I'll tag you? He's like, oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, do you want me without the, like, I guess he had a hoodie on too.
Like, how you want me now?
I guess under the shirt, he bought the tie-dye shirt. He had a Mac hoodie. So he's like, do you want the hoodie or you want the shirt? And I was like, let's just get the shirt, because then you have to take that all off. So he had the shirt on over the hoodie. As I grabbed the image of this, and I'll put it up right here. But I grabbed the image of this, and then the shirt, and then that of you, and then I tagged him in it too as well. But I'm just Mac Miller fans. When you find a day one Mac Miller fan, just anybody, it's just a breath of fresh air, because you can just tell there's they don't care if they're the only one in that room.
Yeah.
I noticed that, because they're the previous one, obviously at Emporium was smaller, so there was 100 people in that room would have looked packed.
Yeah.
This one is obviously a lot bigger, so it wasn't as congested, but you can spot off people that are casually love his music, and then people that just adore that artist.
We're just waiting
for that moment to have the song that they really love come on, and the songs that they do enjoy for like memories or whatever it is. And even him, the girl that had the tattoo on her arm of his face, you could just tell, like, it's not the commitment to the tattoo that made them show like they're bigger fans. It was the fact that you can see it like in the way that they enjoyed the night compared to other people.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
Yeah.
Like when you do the Kid Cudi events, like obviously I'm running around and everything like that, but when you have certain songs that I really love, like those hit me like bad, I stop. Like I don't care if someone's like, oh bro, like the bathroom's overflowing. Like I'm just sitting there like I just need to listen to this right now.
Yeah.
And I don't see anybody else. It's a weird experience. I don't know if if you're a Mac fan and you were there last night and you watched it, but like everyone just disappears.
Yeah.
And I just watched like the set, and just like I just remember exactly what I was doing when I first heard this song.
Yeah.
And that experience is.
Yeah,
So
I mean, if the roles were reversed and I was like an attendee to this event,
you were saying that too.
Yeah, I would be like, just like, man, this is the coolest shit.
Yeah. So We really do appreciate everyone that came out. Any of our events, any events that you see in the past, not just the Mac Miller one, like anybody that goes, even if you're reoccurring or if you're a brand new face, like
even if you're listening this far into this episode.
Yeah. I mean, this might be a clip that we put up,
Yeah.
but like just the fact that it's any support,
Yeah.
even from afar. Like I've never actually like shook your hand or seen you face to face. Like the fact that you contribute in any way means more to us than you know. Because there's times where we hit real bad lows, and those moments are things that I think about too. Is like I can't really give up, or we have to keep pushing because there's people that are not only looking to go to our events or looking to tune into our podcast, but just waiting to see what else we come up with and kind of hoping for our success.
Right, because they've invested a lot of time and effort to show up to our things, give us the support. So
Yeah.
it's like they're almost in it with us too.
And they trust. That's the thing too as well. There's people out there that legitimately trust in just us providing them with something that's not half-ass.
Yeah.
Or that it's like, oh, I could tell that they're really passionate about it. Like I'm passionate about talking to you about stuff and growing this to the point where it's like someone's going to see this and we're behind a full set room, and we're moving, and we're locations, and we're going to interview people that we're like, wow, I can't wait for them to interview it.
Right.
That person. Or like, we interview Gary Vee type stuff, and
right.
people are like, oh yeah, I've been waiting for this episode for a long time.
Yeah.
Certain things like that. There's people out there that we appreciate for the fact that you are committed to us succeeding too as well.
Yep. Send us emails, man. Send us DMs, send us emails. We definitely want to just keep growing,
Yeah.
keep reaching new people, and this is like a very fun and organic way to do it. Now I'm learning, like when we sit down with someone where it's just us in a room with them, and we're just hearing their story, hearing what they're up to, hearing their their interests, the impacts they're trying to make. So it's just a really more personable feeling that I just want to embrace and just keep meeting and enjoying with other people.
Yeah. So like I said in the past, what ended on that is just submissions too.
Yeah.
Please, obviously this will be aside from the one, if you're watching the full episode, we would love to fill up this wall with things. We would love to have it like posters, or even if in different sections, you'll get to see this full basement that we're going to turn into an area for entertainment, to entertain our guests that we have over, to workshops, whatever it may be. And to have this area and any area that we have like actually people that we know, their art, their designs, CDs, posters, certain things that can kind of have it more character too as well. And then also our guests too. So if you want to be a guest, just go ahead and email us or direct message us.
We'll be reaching out to people too, though. But
yeah,
for some
we have people that are going to be already guests, so don't expect like to just hit us up and be like, yeah, come tomorrow. But I mean, like, yes, we'll have you like at least on our list so we can actually get you over here and just talk to you.
Yes.
That's literally it.
All right, I think it's a good wrap.
Oh, also like and subscribe. I know Sab told me to say this last time. Like and subscribe our page, follow us, hit the little bell thing. Like people say that all the time, so hit the bell thing so they can kind of get alerts on when we upload episodes. We're going to try to do it so every Sunday we record an episode, and then we kind of do little snippets and put it out the week of. And obviously with more free time, we want to put more content out. So the more interaction that we get with people, whether it's submissions, whatever, that's going to be our cue to say, okay, let's do more content for this or that, whatever. So like and subscribe, follow us on Rejekts. If you're just seeing this on the Explore page, please go ahead and try to reach out to us with anything that you can think of that we should talk about.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, guys.